It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right. The word of the year should not be 6-7. It should be affordability.
It really should be. Yeah.
And the reason we bring this up is you can see it now coming on in both parties. The Democrats bringing up the idea that they're going to be introducing here soon for Social Security recipients and $200 more for 6 months because of the inflation in prices. Now, they're doing it because they probably will want to dare the Republicans to vote against it. And they also view it as a weapon against the Republicans and Trump when it comes to next year, when it comes to making the argument that Republicans and Trump have not made it affordable.
Right.
You also have, that's why you're seeing right now with the, the whole shutdown thing. They just wanted the subsidies.
Yeah.
They don't want to reform Obamacare in any way.
No.
They just want the subsidies. They're the ones that created the subsidies that were supposed to be temporary. Obamacare, as expected, has failed to control cost, which we told you a long time ago it would not control cost. And so the Democrats are only worried about what you have to pay, not what the total cost is.
Right.
And all they want is future generations. They want your great-grandchildren to pay for your health care today. Otherwise, they have the ability and the votes to have a government health care system in the most liberal states in the country if they wish to choose so.
Yeah, sure.
But they won't do it because they have to pay for it. So, but you see it there. Let's just pay the subsidies. Trump with the $2,000. Now, that sort of has been squashed by Bess and Well. That'll be part of the tax reductions in the big, beautiful bill. I don't think Trump wanted to hear that because he wants they're now worried about affordability. He was out there yesterday not happy with the GOP for not telling everybody this is the best economy in the history of the United States.
Right.
And so you've got that. And then the president coming up with his 50-year mortgage, details to come later. I think I can speak for you here because I went through 2008 and 2009 with you.
Yeah.
Government, get out of the mortgage business and get out now.
Yep.
End of story.
Get back to the organic lending borrowing scenario that it should have always been.
If everybody ends up in their first home is a brand new tiny home or a much smaller home, so be it.
Yep. You buy what you can afford, and then the taxpayer, the government, isn't subsidizing, because that's what has to happen. With Fannie and Freddie, we're talking about the government getting involved and backing these loans. Therefore, the lenders, the banks, are lending more than they should, and people are borrowing more than they should. Nope. This is where it should have been all along. And don't believe us, go back to September 30th, 1999, the New York Times. And they wrote about it, that if this subprime lending were to kick in, it would make the S&L fallout look like nothing. And eventually we got to that point in 2008 and 2009. Because if you have the implied backing, which we still have, of the U.S. government, then the world believes everything is fine. We can lend. There's, in fact, home prices would continue to go up. We saw that then. You go back to the organic lending process. where you have to qualify, you have to prove that you're qualified, and then the bank, you have teeth in the game with a down payment, and the bank is going to vet you the way they should vet you. No Fannie, no Freddie, no programs from Fannie and Freddie.
No FHA guarantee of your house loan.
None of that.
Nothing.
None of that.
Absolutely nothing. Go back to being organic and strictly market based. We saw what happened in 2008, 2009. Trump has said he wants Fannie and Freddie to be private ASAP, so he recognizes that.
Right.
Well, he threw out the 50-year mortgage. What are the details behind it? Is the federal government going to back these 50-year loans? And you made a great point. Who the hell outside of who in their 20s would want a 50-year mortgage?
Anyone older than 30 shouldn't be getting a 50-year mortgage.
And so I mean, there's when you look at it, if you wish to have that product and it exists strictly in the marketplace, fine.
Lenders can do that.
Lenders can do it. I don't think many people would make that choice for a 50-year mortgage.
Well, because if you're not gaining equity in the home at a real pace,
you're more likely to walk away.
You're more likely to walk away. And what are you effectively doing? You're renting. I mean, you're paying massive, mostly interest, which is the case on a 30-year mortgage at the front end of that, unless you put a down payment down at the table, if you're a significant down payment. And that's where the walk away game changes, because if you have to come in with 10 or 20% cash of your own, you're less likely to walk away from that mortgage, and you're more likely to keep that home. Now, we don't know the details of this 50-year mortgage plan. It's just, again, what did we see with car loans? What are they up to now? 84 months?
Are
they at 96 yet? And if not, why not? Because if you're going to do 84, why wouldn't you do 96? I asked you in the pre-show meeting, well, if you're going to do a 50-year mortgage, why not do a 200-year mortgage?
Well, Wall Street Journal has it. Or consider today's subprime auto market. This is the editorial.
Oh, yeah.
As car prices rose with inflation, auto dealers extended the duration of loans for less creditworthy borrowers. Some struggling borrowers are now turning in their keys and having lenders and leaving lenders with big losses. Others who want to trade in their cars to buy a new one can't afford to do so because they owe more than their car is worth.
You're underwater.
The 2008 housing meltdown spurred the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau and the FHFA to limit mortgage terms to 30 years. They're working to change that now. Introducing a 50-year mortgage will boost housing demand, which will benefit home building and mortgage banking industries, but it will also lead to higher prices. But is Trump talking about, well, he must be, because the government's getting involved in it, in regulating it. Mm-hmm. Are they going to be guaranteed? Because if you have a 50-year mortgage, wow, what's the interest rate going to be on something like that? Because banks are scared to death. You're going to walk away early on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things when you get a mortgage, and I've only had one. I didn't have a mortgage till I was 51. I was moving in this business every couple of years and didn't want to do it. Always had an apartment or a townhouse. And when I did it, I just took out a 15-year mortgage because I went, and I think I put down almost 25%, you know, and that because I'd saved money by that time and was able to put it down. Most people don't buy. But do you know the first-time home buyers now, the average age is over 40?
Oh, wow.
Just a few, just
I think I did see that, actually. Yeah.
Here it is. The median age of first-time home buyers this year reached an all-time high of 40 compared to the late 20s in the 1980s.
Yeah. That's when my wife and I first bought a home. Was in the late 80s. We also owned rental properties, and I've been buying and selling real estate for 3.5 decades. And it's again, I don't walk out on something where I feel unsafe. I'm not gonna walk that wire. I want to be well within my means on even with income property. I didn't want to stretch my limit, but people are willing to do that because people are willing to walk away ultimately. And if the government's coming in and making it attractive in a way where, all right, well, I don't know, a 50-year note on a home, because the home builders are doing, I was telling you during the break, one of the home builders is offering, it's based on your credit score, but offering their own interest rates. So they're doing this with either a partner or their own in-house finance arm. I don't know which, but in some cases, 3.9%, which is below market rate right now. And they're also offering discounts on the homes that they build. Well, if you're a home builder, you kind of have that leverage. The big ones like D.R. Horton have that kind of leverage. But you get into a game where if the government gets involved, then you get a lot of the banks that are involved going, oh, well, we can originate this. And if we've got the backing of whatever, the guarantees of the government, then we can create these products over here, ridiculous products that we've had over the years, where people have, and this is the only thing they talk about, low payments. Well, that's not home ownership. You should be looking to build equity in the home, otherwise rent. And rent's going through the roof. And so my question is, are they trying to make it more attractive than rent? I don't think you're going to get the prices down to that level, even on a 50-year note. I'd love to see the numbers on that, what it actually looks like, what kind of products you're talking about in terms of loans, because that, to me, sounds just really crazy. Well, I would love to see the workup.
And when you combine that with the news that Fannie Mae just a couple of days ago is lowering their minimum 620 middle credit score requirement for purchases and refinance of loans, following Freddie's lead, I'm just shaking my head going, Trump was talking about privatizing them, and if the 50-year mortgage, if the federal government's involved in it or supporting it in any way, we're heading back to the same philosophy that we had in 2008, 2009. The fact that we did not learn our lesson, the federal government should be out of the mortgage business.
Right. Let the home builders
completely.
do it. Let the banks do it on their own without the government being involved.
Right.
The incentive from home builders right now, again, you have to have a worthy credit score on some of those, but that's on them. If I understand the industry is hurting, I also understand why housing is so important to an economy. If you look at like buying a new home, well, people then buy furnishings, they buy everything for that home. Well, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's about keeping up with the Joneses or the Jasmine Crockett's. And you're just trying to, show that you can keep up. But there is when there is real economic growth, and we'll use the word affordability, then we should see that organically. But when you get the government involved, what you're doing is you're creating inflated prices on those homes because there's money in the hands, too much money in the hands of people that don't otherwise qualify for that money.
Now, Trump backed off and said, well, this isn't such a, basically, let me just get it here. What he actually said here. It's not even a big deal, is what he said. You saw Laura Ingraham said, you're losing MAGA on this. She said that to him.
Yeah.
You're losing MAGA. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Goes White House officials unhappy about the 50-year mortgage idea released by the top housing official sources say. And if the proposal for a 50-year mortgage wasn't fully vetted by top Trump administration officials and wasn't ready to be made public.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So one source said Mr. Trump now is lukewarm about the suggestion.
Yeah.
But announced it to get his top federal housing official to shut up about it. Another source disputed the characterization that the president was tepid about the mortgage proposal. But they're all worried. Both sides are trying to run on, hey, we're trying to give you affordability, but all the affordability is government regulation or transferring of wealth from one to the other, which is what you do if you guarantee a mortgage.
Right.
If things fail, the taxpayer is held responsible, as we saw in 2008, 2009.
Right.
And then we saw the resulting economic damage that was done across the board.
Well, that's the imagery of prosperity. That's not real prosperity. Work on real prosperity.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Brought to you by FPPF, Fuel Power Max.
Surviving and thriving as an owner-operator has just as much to do with managing costs as it does with generating revenue. Like the chief financial officer of any company, you have to be concerned about rising costs, especially without increases in revenue. Trying to reduce costs, let alone make sense of them, can be a complicated task. Understanding basic principles of operating costs can save you thousands of dollars a year. A penny saved could be $1,000 earned. Saving just 1 penny per mile over 100,000 miles driven annually will deliver $1,000 to the bottom line at the end of the year. Owner-Operator Business 101 is provided by Overdrive's Partners in Business program. Go to overdriveonline.com to the Partners in Business section of the website for more details on this and many other topics. Brought to you by Shell Rotella, with advanced synthetic technology is designed to help keep your rig running with more mileage and less maintenance.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90-RED-EYE on Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Yeah, Trump going off on the GOP yesterday, saying this is the best economy in history, and you're not promoting it. As we have stated over and over again, bad policy. We said this during, if you've been a long-time listener or a short-time listener to the show, we said it during the Biden administration. The worst thing you can do as a politician is tell the voter that what they're experiencing every day is not what they're experiencing. The economy to a person is how they are personally doing.
Because what is his frustration? That they're not getting the word out. In a good economy, you don't need to.
You don't need to get the word out, they know. With prices, they know.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
They'll be telling you.
Yeah.
The public will be telling you. You don't need the GOP to be telling anybody that there's a good economy, because when there is one, everybody knows.
Yep. And understand that a good economy to every individual is how they are personally doing.
Right.
Every time I go to look, I'm single. I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
Prices don't affect me so much. I notice it every single time I go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Right. Yeah.
And it's frustrating that the administration and Republicans are making the exact same mistake as the Democrats did.
Yeah.
Ignoring prices to their own peril.
Right.
Navigating the Bizarrosphere. Every night, Eric Harley and Gary McNamara. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. So both sides right now are looking at affordability, and it's like all of a sudden the Republicans and the administration this week went, oh. You know, after the win, you saw J.D. Vance out there, affordability, Ramaswamy out there, affordability, Trump out there, affordability, but then backing off on that because he's bouncing like a pinball on this back and forth that affordability is a matter. But this is the best economy ever. We need to be promoting that. And you said it a long time ago. When the government figures come out for inflation, the public's already felt it. They've already dealt with it.
Yep, they've already paid for it.
You don't have to tell them. They know.
Yep.
And that's one thing about personal finances. You don't need the government to tell you what situation you're in.
Well, you can't, again, on that, that's a particular element of their life that you don't have to tell them. In fact, you rely on them to tell you.
Yep. And that's why another thing now that's being brought up, and Trump did talk about this. I think it was one time in one speech, he liked the idea of a 10% cap on credit cards.
Yeah.
Steve Moore came out in the last week, former Trump economic advisor, and said, well, sometimes Trump has a populist economic narrative out there. He said, I don't know what he thinks about this, but this bill from Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders is still out there to cap credit card rates at 10%. Trump said he wanted to do it temporarily when he ran the first time. Yeah. And it never happened. And then he mentioned it last year during the campaign that he thought it was an idea worth exploring. And we've been, no. And he writes about it, former Trump economic advisor and Unleash Prosperity, Stephen Moore, has sounded the alarm over a plan by Senators Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. Moore argues that while their proposal may be politically popular, it could hurt millions of Americans. And he suggested that President Trump may also not support the measure. I think he's being optimistic there because Trump has come out twice and said once he would like to see it temporarily go into effect and that he may try to sell now. Well, let's do it for the next year, of course, bringing us up to the election. Right. Problem is millions of people. We saw this with the credit card. We saw this with the credit card Bill of Rights that the Democrats put in, over a decade ago? Yeah. And within, the first 9 months to a year, 8 million people lost their credit cards. Yeah, your credit lines are going to dry up. And then what happens from there? Other products come out, like payday loans did, and those stores started popping up everywhere because the banks, the credit card companies, basically withdrew a lot of those credit lines. If they can't make up for it in the higher interest rate, then they're done. They don't have to extend that credit. And so both sides are looking for any way to get the political step above. So I think this is now, I know why Steve Moore brought it up. He said affordability is the number one issue by far right now. Yeah. As we've been screaming to the Republicans for the last 9 months, and they just, everything's fine. Yeah. And we're like, no, it's not. No, I mean, nobody said it until the night after the election when Ramaswamy made the video. We played the audio from that. We had been saying it. And we've been criticized for it. Yep. And then Ramaswamy said it right after the election, and then it just caught fire. And the next day after the election, affordability was the word of the day. Now it's the word of the year, as you pointed out earlier. That's just the way it is. Because something told me that their internals, it wasn't just the Ramaswamy video, internals were showing this. Yes, I agree. Yeah. And because you don't see that kind of change in the terminology using a specific word across the board by party leaders unless you see that in some kind of internals. And I think their internals were showing that. And it was likely election day,
or post-election day internals, oh, crap, here's where we lose. Listen to Eric and Gary more often, and we're as good as your internals.
Yeah, I know.
Every once in a while, we hit the target.
No, I think we are pretty good at judging, especially on economic issues, where the public is and why the public is, where they are. And Trump was still out there again yesterday, every single day now. He's back out to talking about how rich we are because we're taxing American companies. It's the most bizarre thing, and he's getting pounded by MAGA on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's now getting pounded
which he wasn't at first.
No.
And now that's a growing
it's
a rejection of that thought. And again,
but the same thing they're saying. If you want to say, you explain it to the American people what you're attempting to do every day. But when you say jobs are going, the job market is just wonderful right now, everybody knows that's not true.
But what did they do over the weekend? And was it Monday? I think it was Monday during the presser that followed the swearing in of the new ambassador to India. They were talking about Besant on Sunday was out there talking about the $2,000, this refund or whatever it's going to be from tariffs, and then Trump repeated that on Monday. So 2 days in a row, they've talked about it. Now, it's not going to be a check anymore. It's going to be in the form of tax savings for some.
Well, tax savings for some that were already in the big, beautiful bill.
Right.
Which really wasn't related to tariffs.
No.
So they're scrambling, but everything that you see is from both sides is not about opening up the competitive marketplace to lower prices. Everything is about some type of wealth transfer or government program or government regulation.
Which the left has been doing.
And that doesn't get you lower prices.
Right. This is what the left has been doing for a long time. The reason the left is against this idea.
Well, the right's doing it too now.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The left has been doing this for so long, and now the right's doing it. This has been the playbook for the left. The Republicans are using the Democrats' playbook on this. And the reason the Democrats don't want the subsidy thing to change on Obamacare, they don't want the money to go directly to an FSA account to the individual. And why is that? Because you can't hide the bloated cost of Obamacare if you do that. If you pay the insurance companies directly, then the consumer, the people getting the benefit from that, then they look at it and go, oh, it looks like it's working fine. Well, it's not working fine. And if you put money into an FSA account and they're having to use that money, because that at that point becomes their money that they can spend on qualified items, including that premium. And when they're having to pull that trigger on that cost out of that FSA account, they're reminded every time of the bloated cost of Obamacare. Mm-hmm. What they're trying to do, this has been the playbook on the left, is you give out the imagery of prosperity while actually causing harm to the economy. And now the Republicans seem to be going down the same road.
So let's take this back to last week's election for Mamdani and the economics of a Mamdani. Mamdani.
Yes.
I never had trouble before with it. And it's the bidding war for, I love this one, Wall Street Journal editorial from a few days ago. The bidding war for New York refugees. After Mamdani's win, Tennessee is already trying to lure business. Now, just check out some of these figures here, because economics is about how people respond to incentive. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what People go, what's economics? How people respond to incentive. That really covers everything. Now, incentive, I used to say incentive and disincentive, but that's basically a level of incentive.
Right. Yeah.
So, Tennessee is open for business, Governor Bill Lee said in a video posted online late last week, and our Department of Economic and Community Development is ready to help you make a move right now. Nashville is looking more homey all the time, at least as a place to do business. This month, the Tax Foundation released its annual State Competitiveness Index, and Tennessee won the Most Improved Player Award, rising. This is the kind of sports I like.
Yeah.
Winning the Most Improved Player Award, rising 30 spots over the past 6 years to number 8 overall. New York, dead last. But let's look at the actual numbers, okay?
All right.
Tennessee does not have an individual income tax. Nothing. Zip. Zilch. Nada. Nothing. New York State's top tax rate on income, 10.9%. The Big Apple adds a local tax of 3.88% for a combined take in New York City of 14.8%, the highest anywhere in America. Mamdani wants to increase that by another 2 points to 16.8%. Where in Tennessee, it's 0. You know how much money that adds up to if you're a millionaire?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Tennessee's top rate on corporate income is 6.5%, but it also taxes gross receipts, so it ranks poorly on the business portion alone, yet it looks better than New York City. Albany's top rate on corporate income, check this out, Eric, is 7.25%. Then the city's business tax goes up to 9%. Combined, that's 16.25% corporate tax rate in New York City. Mamdani wants to add another 4.25 points, taking the corporate tax rate in New York City above 20%. That's just from the state.
Wow.
Businesses considering where to expand or where to move a headquarters will factor in quality of life issues, including crime, cost of living, housing availability, and more. New York City has much to offer. It's a magnet for talent, and cultural amenities are enormous, but Broadway loses its luster if the streets and subways feel dangerous, and it's an open question how much Mr. Mamdani will handcuff the New York City Police Department. The mayor-elect hasn't yet revealed a pragmatic streak. And if he doesn't find one, New York's loss will be Tennessee's gain, say nothing of Texas, Florida, and the rest.
Right.
By the way, the whole cultural thing and cost of living, I lived all over the place, and, Texas is great.
Yeah. No, I love
it.
it.
Great. Texas is great. I love, I've lived in Oregon, Illinois, New York, Florida, probably missing some in there, and Texas, and culture, music, whatever. I mean,
yeah.
Do we have Broadway? Not really. Do I care? No.
No. No. I don't care.
It's fine. Nashville, Tennessee, great place to live. Great place to live.
Right.
And when you see the fact of how much money you can save, it even becomes a better place.
Oh, yeah.
You know something? Yeah, you've got all these things in New York City. I can't afford to go.
They have Broadway, but they don't have Billy Bob's Texas. So.
No, that's our culture.
That's exactly.
Right, exactly. We've got Billy
Bob's.
So,
no, that's it. And again, affordability.
Yeah.
We know that word here in Texas.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I guess we're all set that hopefully we come in tomorrow night and we can simply say, okay, the shutdown's over. Let's move to the other insanity that's out there to cover.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to believe it won't pass in the House. I think it passed committee right after our show started. So I don't think I think the head count is pretty solid along party lines. But it looks like it will get done, and they want to get it done ASAP, which means probably this evening or late this afternoon. So, then the next headache, right? What is that going to be?
What's the next headache?
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.